see the assignment live and direct.
Well, now he's moving. I gotta we'll bring that flyer up in a little bit, but he's doing some fire things with the fourth row folks. Yo, you know what's fly? Your man Gun dropped the Saucony's, but I saw it was just pretty cool to see Boog on a post on the Nice Kicks IG. Like that was just like, yo, your man's just on Nice Kicks.
Flood of Yakubians just went right on in.
The man was all over the place. All right, now we're live on YouTube, so we're getting this together. Peace to everybody that does happen to be watching right now on the Twitter, on the YouTube. We're trying a new streaming platform that happens to be an old streaming platform, but we'll tell that story too, because StreamYard is bugging out. I know everybody that is a podcaster that is going to be in eyes and ears reach of this pod knows exactly what I'm talking about and what
No, that's
time.
right.
Yeah, and that's why the name of this episode is what it is. Yesterday's price is not today's price because StreamYard is bugging the hell out. But we'll get into all that. We even talk a little bit about what why I was off at least of the pod last week. But I think it's no better time than the present. Do we have a survey to start this out with? Or you just want to just hit the intro?
Get right to it, man. We got so much wrestling to get to. Let's run it, man.
Let's do it.
Peace to y'all, it's the Ringside Club Paul. A.O. Blame Boogie, Chad Law. The power's back, triple power bomb. The big dog trio in the stream, y'all. Go outside, hit the venue guard. It's all love when you see us, Lord. Back to the pad, on air for the pod. Ringside Club, intro to the squad. Let the show start.
Yes, sir. It is indeed the Ringside Club. Looks a little bit different than usual, but we're here. We're in the business. Excuse me. We're in the building, like we usually are every Thursday night, 9:05 live. For starters, before we get started, really into this podcast, I want to let everybody know that you can head over to this website right here, theringsideclub.com. All the past episodes are up. All the future episodes will be there. Could definitely check out all of the Ringside Club audio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms. The on demand, if you don't catch the on air, is of course on YouTube. Plus, we're available on all social media. We're everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, of course, right here on X. I think we're on Threads as well. So chop it up with your boys, man. This is episode number 106.
We're into the
And if
park.
you don't know, yeah, 106 in Park, episode 106 in Park. And if you don't know, man, I go by the name of A.O. Baker. What up? Peace.
Yes, sir. CHADLAW, Chad Law. Live and direct right now. Just fresh off a gang of new album reviews that I just dropped for the CL First Listen. Make sure y'all go to my Instagram, my Twitter handles, Threads, and check that out as well. You know what I'm saying? Get put on some new music. Check out the Spotify playlist. Avid Heat playlist. We got the RSC playlist getting updated tonight. So it's a lot of new things that's going on the playlist side as well. So if you're an artist listening in, make sure you want to connect with us. We got working going on way outside of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? We moving and shaking out here. It's a lot of pay-per-views going on. So you will be seeing the boys outside at some point. You know what I mean? WrestleMania going to be here before we know it. So we will be talking about Vegas. You know what I mean? At some point. Shit, we even got Newark coming up for Full Gear. We might have to pop out, man. I'm thinking it's time. It's been a little minute since I've been to a show. I missed the energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what's crazy is like I wanted to go to Grand Slam. Grand Slam is, hop, skip, and a jump for me. But I was just so bogged down with work that it was like, damn, I ain't even really get to catch the show all that good on TV at the time. But it's definitely been a little while. It's been long overdue to pop out to one of these shows.
You know, I
There's a
want to
lot
go to a
coming up.
WWE show more than I
Same
want to go to
same
an
thing with
AEW.
Saturday. I was about to say Saturday night main event is coming up at the Garden in December, right around
Yes.
Christmas.
Yes.
I mean, so that might be a move also.
That's going to be a secret PLE, basically. You know what I mean?
No, it is a PLE because that's on
Yeah.
Peacock also. They're running on
Oh,
Peacock.
okay.
Yeah, they're running that on
Saturday night
Peacock.
main
That's
event. They have pay-per-views on Saturday already. PLE. So this one is
Saturday night main
specific.
event.
Saturday night main event.
I'm trying to figure
Like,
out. I'm not even sure if you can.
yes, man.
So what we're doing right now, let's just get right to it. For starters, uh, StreamYard bugged out. Anybody that's a StreamYard podcaster saw that price increase. They pretty much ran their shit up 80%, damn near doubling, and eliminated a tier. So what we were doing, they had the 25, they had the 50, and then they had something else higher than that, like 100 or whatever the case was. We were on the 50 because we have 3 members. We wanted to make sure all 3 of us have a login so we can get in there and, do ringside club related streaming, but also if anybody has any other, you know,
Mm-hmm.
video things that they're doing as far as their own brands, we all have freedom and access and all that. So fast forward, I get an email, and StreamYard says, all right, so we're up in the $25 tier to be $45. That $50 tier that we were a part of shot up to 80. It didn't make any sense. So we were basically going to be paying $5. There's a $5 difference, and we would have lost a member, or we're paying the 80. We're not paying the 80. StreamYard's wilding.
Cost
For
cutting.
what?
Cost
Yeah,
cutting for the
like what are we
2025, folks.
what are we paying the $80 for to podcast and talk wrestling? So the cool thing about what we're doing right now, this is like a test run, but a second test run for all of my podcasters out right now. We're on Riverside.fm to be exact, and they're not plugging me. Pause. That's crazy. They're not paying me to plug them. Pause again. But the very first episode that we did of the Ringside Club, episode numero uno, Technology Turns Heel, was done on Riverside, and it was so bad that there is no actual video footage of episode number one.
So
And
in
the audio,
105 episodes, how far have
yeah,
those been?
105 episodes later, Ringside is riding with Riverside once again. So we'll see. This is a test run. We'll see how this actually moves, but this might be the go, and I might just start, whispering to some of my fellow pod homies, going and if you don't want StreamYard all in the videos,
Riverside, come holla at us, man. Come drop something right here for the RSC game. We appreciate it. Anybody that's tapped in right now, connected in, that actually wants to come through, get their logo dropped, want to come holla at us for some promo, for some billboard ads, some advertisement. Come on, man. Come talk to the guys, man. It's the RSC, the Almighty.
yeah,
We ain't just talking about wrestling. We got real life shit going on outside of here, man. You see how
yeah,
far
we're moving.
see what's moving.
We're moving. Speaking of real life shit, man, I wasn't on the pod last week because I had a tooth pulled, bro. It was crazy.
My
Crazy.
wisdom
That
tooth might
Monday,
pulled
there's
soon.
a lot going on last week, right? So I had a tooth pulled on Monday, wedding anniversary Tuesday and Wednesday, DJ'd on a boat on Wednesday.
How was
I
that?
ain't re- It was fly. It was fly. My ad agency threw a party that we're trying to do. I guess I would want to do it a little more regularly, but within the agency, there's several folks that have DJ'd, either actively
Mhm.
still or at least in the past, myself being one of them. So we all just, shouts to my homie Pat, Backup Entertainment. He supplied the sound and had that shit moving like festival. We have festival equipment there, on the boat. It was incredible. It was very impressive. A lot of people that I was telling he was coming through, they were impressed. And then we just had a good time, man. A bunch of, fellow people from the ad industry came through and just had a good time. Had the food truck pull up. We had the open bar and all of that. I was heavy on the water, because
Keep it safe.
antibiotics and
Gotta keep it safe, man. You
and
trying to pass
alcohol is
out.
not the
You know what I
move.
mean?
But it was fly, man. It was a good experience. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I'm
It's a
doing.
good time, man.
That's what I'm doing. Keeping
Sound
it
like a
busy,
very
keeping
good
it
time.
working, keeping it working, keeping it working.
We got DC this weekend. Elijah Rosario at the pocket. Make sure you get those PMF hats.
Half gone too, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? Them shit
Half
is
gone.
active. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all get that. New Elijah Rosario Chemical Reaction single out right now. Make sure y'all pick that up. DC, Virginia was love last weekend. Working on Atlanta. We got a nice little listening session gathering that we're working on for Atlanta in January. So that'll be good. Elijah will be here in New York next weekend. Shout out to the Digilog Festival. So we'll be fucking with the Digilog Festival crew. for their festival. See what that's about. So that should be a nice little move, man. You know what I'm saying? So check them out. Definitely a young, dope urban pop artist on the rise right now. Great sounds, great vibrations. You know, I'm also I'm looking for some new talent as well too. I would love to work with some new alternative sounds. I've been listening to Post Malone's country album. Shit has just been good. I've been listening to Sabrina Carpenter. The fuck is going on,
I
man?
haven't had a chance to listen to that yet. Post joint. How is it? It's fire.
Post joint is actually really good. Like sonically, it's really fun. It's like I enjoy it because I accept him for who he is and what he's doing. He's not feeling like a panda bear. I don't feel like he's just trying to make like Offset and Migos music. You know what I mean? And just like turn up. You know what I mean? I just feel like this is like it really works well with this country shit. Like he just fits the party. Sonically, the look, the features. If he's gonna do country, just stay over there. It's cool. You know what I mean? Stay over there and I'll take it for what it is. So
It wasn't it interesting, like how country is like. I can see it happening right now. It's like slowly but surely the
Shabuzi.
new wave. And I'll be
Shabuzi
like, yeah,
getting
and
it
he's been number
popping.
one for, the whole year, damn near, for weeks,
Shabuzi getting it
months.
popping. Like
But like,
it's
I can
been
see this, a year from now, like looking back at this time, like, yo, this was like the start of you know, the
the
new
urban
country
country.
wave,
Urban country.
the new country wave. No,
That's how
that's
they
why.
gonna call it at the Grammys. Urban country.
Yeah, I don't, that's nasty. That's nasty. Yo, I'd be remiss speaking of music before we even go further in the pod, and not to even bring this pod down, but rest in peace to the good sir Jay Hatch, man, co-founder of I Standard Producers. He passed away, and the crazy thing, and the reason
That's
why
tough.
it ties in kind of crazy into this pod is we met because of I Standard Producers. Like in person, we met at Loriana May's joint, but prior to that, we were already in communication just because you were sending music and I was blogging on a blog.
R.P. Donovan Mitchell. I said Donovan
Donovan
Mitchell.
Mitchell, another one.
Not
Yeah,
Donovan
long
Mitchell.
live
I'm
him.
bugging.
Yep. Nah, but I
Not
know.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Don. Yeah,
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 Donovan.
yeah, yeah.
Thinking way too much basketball right now.
I got the
It's
liberty
ready
on.
for the NBA
I know, I
season.
know, I know, I know.
I'm thinking about that.
I got the
Yeah.
liberty on right now.
How about yes. Wildly. Should have been there too. It's enough time. We got a couple more games. Might have to pop out Sunday or Wednesday. But yes,
Donovan
rest in
Mitchell is
peace.
alive. Donovan
Rest in
Mitchell is
peace to
definitely
Hatch
alive.
and
Nah, but
Donovan.
yeah, like Hatch was the co-founder with two co-founders of that company, and I met him because I was interning. Speaking of Don, I was interning for Don DiNapoli way
Right.
back in '09, and ended up working for the company and stayed in touch, working relationship with both guys. And Jay Hatch, man, like just a good dude, a good solid dude, and there's a lot of people, especially like he passed away, and it's just like seeing that outpouring of people, and I know all of them that was saying, "Yo, Hatch was a good guy. Hatch did this for me. Hatch did that for me. I wouldn't have got this deal. I wouldn't have met my partner. I wouldn't have been able to advance my career had it not been for that guy and the
Right.
movement that he and Don DiNapoli created so many years ago." So I just wanted to take that time, man, just to pay that man his respects because he played a pivotal part, in a lot of things that I was able to do as well. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to Jay Hatch. Good dude. Good dude.
Prayers
Good
up,
dude.
Jay Hatch. You know what I mean? Good fella. Very good fella. Shout out to the whole I Standard crew, man. Good connections.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very good connections.
So yeah, man. But yeah, so we're here. It's 106. Chad Law AO. What we got on the docket, bro? Matter of fact, speaking of spin drift, set it up. I'm about to go get a spin drift. I'll be right back.
So we are coming off of Bad Blood. You know, we getting ready for Wrestle Dream. We have Champions Watch tonight. We have Prepped and Cooked. We've got a brand new debut with Stephanie Vacour. Ooh, I'm excited. I caught that NXT show. If you're watching this right now and you were able to catch that NXT show, we will be diving into that very shortly. You know, we still making some good time right now. We definitely want to make sure we get through enough of this. Bad Blood was what it was. I would say overall, before we break down Bad Blood, if we choose to go in depth, we'll just go with our highs and lows. But I'll say Bad Blood was like a 77 out of 100. Like I wouldn't really say it was like the top PLE. I just think it just had too much interference for my liking. I think that's what watered it down for me. It just got kind of out of control. Out of
I,
fucking control.
I honestly like. I mean, I think if we're talking highs, the runaway high of the night was the Hell in a Cell.
Easily one of the best Hell in a
Period.
Cell matches
Yeah.
I have seen in quite some years. Like it actually made me have to think about that, and the fact that like the community was in unison with that, I think they really did something because everyone just started reminiscing like, when was the last good Hell in a Cell match that actually like embodied the hardcore aspect of the shit, like, and didn't just have a wrestling match and then throw each other into a cell and then climb up and then fall off the announce table. And I was like, you're right. These Hell in
Yo,
a
you know
Cells have not been memorable.
what I was so happy I didn't see was a kendo stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
Yeah, the little things.
yeah, but like I was so because like the vast majority of hardcore matches, period, you're gonna see the kendo stick from under the thing. You're gonna see a chair shot to the back, and there's not really gonna be much else than that. You know what I mean? Speaking on like WWE hardcore matches as of late, you'll get the table bump, you'll get the spear through the barricade, things like that. What they were doing, man, like the bag that was almost like a tease for the thumbtacks, it ended up being little pieces of the bracelet that I thought was a nice touch. The back bump, the sick ass back bump
Hardcore.
that McIntyre caught on the edge of the steps that were in the ring. The table spot, the suplex onto the tables that were on the outside. But just the fact that the vibe and the tone of that Hell in a Cell was very, very appropriate for the type of feud that they were trying to build. That's what I enjoyed the most. Nothing about this felt cute. Nothing about this felt like, oh, we're just doing this because it's a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. It felt like an appropriate ending to a feud where you have two people that just really do not bang with each other. Like, I don't like you, I hate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for this feud to basically start from the injury in the Royal Rumble and then Drew McIntyre to come out and say, yo, I prayed for you to get injured, this was an appropriate ending for that level of hate.
Okay. I'm with you on that. Like, this feud can finally cease, although I just don't think it will overall. Like, I think they will have a Hangman and a Swerve type of energy. You know what I mean? Where they're going to meet at the Royal Rumble and sparks will probably fly again. Because I just don't think that this is the end. Like, I just don't see a world where it's like Punk is just going to go off to chase the world title and Drew's not going to be like, no, fuck this. Like,
Yeah,
I want you out of here. Like, I feel like they could continue the feud. Crazy enough, I'm kind of leaning towards that side.
which I wouldn't be mad at. Just give it some time to breathe now. Like, we don't need to
Yes.
immediately go back into it. Like, I think it would be cool to not see either of them to see them interact with each other rather until the Rumble. And maybe they don't even actually touch. You know what I mean? Like, just because of how ill they've built this feud, it would be dope for them to kind of, somebody's in the ring already, the other one gets enters, and then they freeze, and then you have that stare off, and then somebody, it ends up being a distraction or something like that. Like, just to build the anticipation for the next, uh, you know, point in that feud. But I agree, this
Right.
ain't over. These guys are gonna be beefing for as long as both of them are in the company, which is dope, because it's like it's on site.
Pure hatred.
It's basically on site.
That was definitely a high point. Obviously after that comes the bloodline. I think that whole bloodline just pool. You know what I mean? It's just whatever it's bloodline. It's just bloodline anything. It's like, sure, I'll take it. I'm with it.
You
I
know what,
guess.
man? I really, I really enjoyed the Nia and Bailey match, man. I thought that
Interesting
was
because
a
the popular opinion is like that match was the clunker of the night, and the
nah.
Hurricane Rana botch spot. I mean, I personally didn't mind it because I'm a Nia Jax guy, so I'm just like, yo, everyone's always gonna find a reason to have a, yo, Nia Jax is the worst wrestler in the world match. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's like, yo, if anything, I was championing that this was a triple threat match. I would have loved if this was Naomi's inclusion or just even Nia Jax and Naomi because Bailey doesn't do anything right now. And quite frankly, she hasn't done anything since the damage control situation ended. Since she's won the title, lost the title, it's like you don't really care to see Bailey right now. Like she's just looking good, you know what I mean? But it's like nothing's driving it home here to make me think that you were even going to end it. And Tiffany Stratton and the surprise, like, yo, cash in. I'm just getting wrapped up in this, man. This has got to end, bro.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
got to
look,
come to a halt soon.
yeah, yeah. It could have
Too
just been a
blatant.
It
It's
could have
just
been a meat
too.
thing, bro. Like I thought that the match wasn't Meltzer ain't gonna be raving about the match. I just thought it was a cool match. I enjoyed it. It could be because it came right after the Hell in the Cell, but the crowd didn't die. You know what I'm saying? So like the energy didn't dive all the way down, which you expect after like a big emotional match like that. Um, but I thought it was cool. The low for me, what would the low of the night be for me? What other matches? So we had the Shawcade shit, bro.
That
The
match.
Raquel Rodriguez reveal was weird, but that's not even the low. The low was
Hold on, table that. It's crazy that like I knew it was Raquel, but I feel like a vast majority of people did not know nor care. And then I looked back again and I was just like, yo, it made no reaction. It was like a dynamite, AEW dynamite style level of just like, sure? Like, this was.
yeah, it wasn't a good job because like Raquel isn't at the point where it is like immediate, you know, she's not immediately recognized. There was no, tease leading up or whatever. It's like there's a lot of times like to your point like on AEW where they'll have like a surprise debut and the vast majority of the audience is not familiar with who the person is. Then you don't get, or when the lights go out and they come back on, it's like, all right, Shawn Spears, word. You know what I'm saying? So it was that like it didn't do her any favors. I think it would have been better for me to bring her back like on TV in some kind of way so they could. It's not right after a match, but
Nah, the follow up was crazy. Shorty turned into an Uber driver and a security guard, and that was the end of Raquel Rodriguez.
yeah,
That was crazy, though.
that's no good. They
That
need
was
to Diesel her.
next.
Yeah, she needs to be Diesel. But the low for me
It's
was
WWE 1996 again. Come on. You know they got to redo every year. So this is the 1996 bag from Paul Levesque.
basically like Sean got everybody that he's whispered that he's talking to redoing everything from his career. Like this WWE is really like Shawn Michaels Pro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
SMPW, Shawn Michaels Pro Wrestling.
Yo, sidebar. I just got WWF No Mercy on Nintendo 64, and it's fucking fire.
You said Nintendo 64?
Yeah, I got a
Yeah.
simulator mod, and
Okay.
I got it on the desktop of this computer. Dog, I've got Nintendo. I've just downloaded PS2. I'm fucking wilding right now. Son. I'm about to put you on after this shit, but yo, son, I meant to tell you, like, nah, I finally am able to play like WWF No Mercy
That's fire.
on, like on this laptop. Like, this is fire. You know what I'm
That's
saying? You
fire.
hook it up with the HDMI and shit. Shit is crazy. Shout out to the gamers finding my nice convenient ways to get my throwback game on. I really was wilding to play ECW Anarchy, Anarchy Rules or Hardcore Heaven. ECW had the fire games on the low for the low budget. If you fucked with ECW video games, you knew the vibes, man.
Did Acclaim do theirs? The
Yeah,
ECW joints?
I want to say they did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can look it
I
up.
think they did too. I think they did too.
That is those games is fire. Shout to anyone that played any of the ECW video games. You know what I mean? But yes, back to Bad Blood.
Yeah, no, my low was real. Like the dumbest babyface move of the last month since Darby Allin willingly put his world title shot on the line for a match with John Moxley. She just
Damn, you got to
instead
shoot with
of
the
like
God, man.
she had the match won, and instead of just ending the match, winning the title, beating Liv, she decides to just tell. She told the ref, "Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I have something to hand." And the ref didn't even start counting. The ref said, "Okay, what are we doing here?" The ref said, "Yo, handle your business." Now, ref, you handle your business. Your business is supposed to be counting her
That
so we
was
can
like,
enforce the rules, bro.
nah, that
Ref
was
was like, all right.
insane. That
Ref said
was
the match will
insane,
still be
bro.
here whenever you're ready. Like, what are we doing?
I
So
ain't
he
even
just
gonna hold you.
that was
That was
insane.
wild.
That
That
was
was a
insane.
terrible ending. Him just dangling from the shark cage, I think, was just. You knew
I ain't
something
gonna
crazy
lie.
was gonna happen.
I ain't gonna lie. Like because I saw him fall headfirst so fast without realizing that his ankle was tied up, I thought he was out of here for a second. I'm like, yo, we're not supposed to be seeing this. This is crazy.
You said the pay per view fee should have been cut off.
Yeah, they should have just gone to the fuzz, man. They should have gone to the
Nah,
backstage,
that's a
taken to the
nasty
audience.
fall though. Nasty place to fall
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
and just like that split second, I was like, oh, he's tied around his ankle.
So that wasn't a bit of a highlight, I guess, in that sense. But other than that, the overall match just really reminded me that Rhea Ripley has this whole Wow, sidebar. Liv Morgan has this whole division in a chokehold. And it's really unfortunate. Because you don't even realize there's other women on Raw at times. Like, besides the 8 women that are all put together to fight amongst the Pure Fusion Collection, Tumbleweeds and Crickets, and Natalia. It's wild that, like, damn, is Liv Morgan going to have any competition? Like, I actually wouldn't have minded Rhea winning, bro. I was actually hoping she would win and just end this feud for good. Like, yo, just on to the next. But, of course, it's Raquel's turn.
Yeah, I thought that she would.
More layers. More Judgment Day. Yay.
Yeah, they're going to drag it. If there's one thing they're going to do is drag this feud, bro.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, man. I think the Judgment Day should hopefully feud with the Wyatt family, the Wyatt Six next, or some type of faction. Like, they just got to get away from this whole Damian Priest, like, and even him, like, he's completely squashed Finn to me. Finn is just tanked out. There's nothing else Finn should be doing but focusing on the tag team titles, because that's another division that has me so frustrated on Raw. Watching the Raw product is that there's tag titles and tag teams and nothing being defended. Not a thing being defended, man.
Yep. Yo, speaking of Raw, man, 2 hours.
It felt like I was watching SmackDown on Friday. It was great.
Please don't
I was
ever
watching
go
it.
back to 3 hours.
You know, people are not liking the 2-hour format, though.
I think it has more to do with
With their trained.
No. I think it has more to do with the fact that the Raw roster specifically was built to be for for 3 hours, so there's more people on Raw, and you can tell that there were some things that were rushed, and that felt fine, but then there were other things that were rushed or even just cut down or just thrown together because oh shit, we don't have as much time as usual. So for example,
Right.
that multi-team, multi-woman match or whatever, like that it felt thrown together. You know what I'm saying? When
What was it?
in other times like they have enough space to space things out or whatever. But so that's the negative to it. But I like the positive. The first couple of segments of the show, I thought feeding into one another, something as simple as Jey Uso cutting off Seth Rollins and just that brief interaction without them having any issue. You just see Seth kind of shrug it off, but that might play into something later on. You know what I mean? But you're not going to get that on a Raw because they have to have full entrances and drag that shit out to fill time. So there could be a benefit to it just to kind of quicken the pace between segments or have weird interactions between wrestlers that you wouldn't normally get. But that's all it is. Like I think that the positives vastly outweigh the negatives. Like nothing needs to be 3 hours, bro. You know?
We'll see what Netflix does. We'll see how this turns out. January will be
I
here
wonder
before we know it.
if when they get to Netflix, if they're going to continue to censor the crowd when you get the holy shit chance, because USA ain't letting up, bro. they'll just hit an audio dump for the whole.
Yo,
30
you think
seconds.
that's bad? CW Network, boy, they got that shit on silent. It just sound like
Not only that, there's way more commercials on CW too.
yeah, mad commercials. Mad commercials. I mean, do you want to wrap up on Bad Blood? You know what I mean? We had 30 minutes. You know what I mean? I think we pretty much, y'all already know what's going on out here in the WWE universe. Roman Reigns is back. Fuck with it, get with it, or get lost. Triple threat match probably on the way. The Rock's back too. All hail.
Shouts to the People's FTW champ.
Yes, the People's FTW Championship belt. I hate that he has to carry that belt around. It looks ridiculous. Insane looking belt. But, we could sit here for the whole rest of the time and just fantasy book this, that, and the third. But there are so many PLEs happening every single weekend that we got to keep the show rolling, y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
there's a
Wrestle
lot.
Dream this weekend. There's Blood Money in 2 weeks in Saudi. Then you got Wrestle Dream after that. You got an NXT Halloween Havoc, I think, in 2 weeks as well, too. It's a
Bound
lot
for
going
Glory.
on. TNA Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory is October 26th out of Detroit,
Yes.
Motor City.
Michigan. Yes. So there's a lot going on pay-per-view PLE wise right now. So y'all already know what's going on out in the wrestling sphere. We're going to get to AEW Wrestle Dream right now. Actually, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to rewind. Champion Watch. Jey Uso, the Intercontinental Champion, he's having a hell of a run, man. He's looking real sleek as the Intercontinental Champion. he's actually having a hell of a week right now to me. Like, just a good aura. Popping up in NXT, looking good with Trick, you know what I'm saying? Champion to champion. He's making the Intercontinental title look real fly and flashy, which is really dope. It's just insane to me that Braun Breaker is going to have to end that streak very shortly, but I'm just getting comfortable with it right now. I think Jey Uso will have the under 1 month title reign. Braun Breaker's going to take the IC title back. They gave us a glimpse against Gunther. That was fine. You know what I mean? A little face to face. It's down the line. This little Jey Uso pivot, I think that was done to pop the crowd, pop the excitement, give it a little refreshing air. You know what I mean? I think it worked. Jey Uso's done all the press, the cameos, the looks, the crowd reactions. We've got videos. It's bottled up. Millions of views. Now back to Braun Breaker. So, my champion of the week is the Intercontinental Champion, Jey Uso. I just want to praise his week because he is looking really strong as the Intercontinental Champion for right now. How you feel about it?
Yeah, like I like the energy, bro. Like the energy of Jey Uso. He feels good having a title.
Yeah,
You know what I
finally.
mean? It just feels good to see.
The
Jey
matches feel like
Uso
they
with his
matter
title.
more.
Yeah, I mean he's got something to build on. Like he was like for a while it was real close to like yo Jey Uso is the lovable loser. You know what I mean? As far as
Yes.
title opportunities. And now that he has that title, like the energy is up. You know what I mean? So like Jey Uso, like I mentioned, like I said, he's likable. So but we'll see. Like I do think Braun beats him. We'll just see like if it's immediate or if they drag it out a little bit. But I do think he beats him because like I think Jay gets beat because he's gonna at some point get back to interacting with this whole bloodline shit. So you can't take that title and go to SmackDown with it.
But you know what I think can happen? I think Finn Balor is going to come knocking for the Intercontinental title because he's the lovable loser. And in that process, Braun Breaker ends up winning and becoming Intercontinental Champion. Could fizzle that out a little bit, but then that means that the tag titles have to get defended because you're still a tag team champion. So I think Jey Uso will eventually lose the Intercontinental title, but it'll be replaced by him being a tag team champion right after that. With none other than the man who's also spinning wheels, the most over babyface on Raw, Sami Zayn. So that's how those two become tag team. They win the belts because that division needs a spark in the arm. And if they do the tag team versus tag team thing at Saudi, then I think that's how we get to it. Is Bloodline on SmackDown, tag team champions, champions of Raw, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn. I think that's how we get to what could be. Sounds crazy, but I think that's logically how it could go next because there's just like you said, how the hell are we supposed to get these guys to bridge? Like, of all the times when we laugh about what draft, like, oh, now it's actually going to be like, no, Chili's on Raw. You can't even do that.
Yeah. You get the two GMs. You get Pierce and Out. It's like no, he's mine. I have his.
But
What have you been doing?
yeah, you can do the Randy Orton thing, but like, no. Jey Uso, he's exclusive to Monday nights. Like,
Man, Randy. Not only is Randy Orton's contract not even it's not enforced. My man is getting world title shots on whatever show he feels like showing up on.
yeah, pretty much.
He's out there. He's on NXT. He was just on NXT. Like
That was
he's
fun.
just
That was a good match.
draft.
That was a fun match with Javon
Yeah,
Evans, man. Javon Evans
I
is on the
agree.
rise. I know he loses a
I
lot, but
agree.
it's okay. My man gonna bounce back.
Yeah,
Yo.
he's young, bro. Like
He's
he's
young. He's
20,
the young OG. He's
22,
bouncy.
23. Yeah,
He's
he's
just
fine.
so over, man. The kid is good. Good money.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Champ
Yes.
watch for me,
Who you got?
man. I might have had the same a couple episodes ago, but I'm going with Brian Danielson, AEW World Champ, because this is it.
Do you feel like it? Does this feel like the end of Brian Danielson? Like, is this the end? Does it give you the vibes?
There's no big, swan song and all of that. But I don't know, man. Like I think like this was already set up for him to lose in Washington. I don't know if they have any other Washington dates going on. But I also because this is again, this is the end of his full-time wrestling career. This is not the end of his career. It is not the last Brian Danielson match. That's what I want. Like that, I think that's the difference. I think if this was like the Brian Danielson retirement match, what they would probably do is something similar to Sting, where they give you a date and it builds up to that, so you get more pomp and circumstance.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't think that's what this is. So I think if he loses, the only difference is we just don't see Brian Danielson every week. We might see him twice a year. You know, but he's not retiring. He's just not going to be here all the time. That's fine.
I just wonder what's gonna take. Like, what's gonna replace this? If and when Brian loses, what's gonna take the top spot is what has me more like curious, if anything, in AEW right now.
We'll see. I think it's Darby and Mox.
We'll get to the predictions about that, but you're right about the GOAT, Darby Allin. You know what I'm saying? Getting to be at the top of the card. He rightfully so should be main eventing and headlining and winning this Wrestle Dream pay per view. I'm just going to ball wash right now. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You know what I mean? Darby Allin, he's winning me over every week, man. I'm on the bandwagon. It's not a problem. He's going to win the world title, and when he does, I'm going to get the skateboard with his name on it. You know what I mean? I'm going to get the Darby Allin official skateboard. Tag it up with RSC.
What is it? Is Wrestle Dream and then what? Full Gear in November, right?
Yes, and then World's End in December in Orlando.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of PLEs and pay-per-views coming up on AEW and WWE side. Best believe that. So the wrestling will be jam-packed for the next couple of weekends, you know? So it's a cool champion, you know what I mean? Respectable champion. I could rock with that. I'm rocking with you on that. I'll take that. Prepped and cooked. Before we get into our predictions, we're going to do the Prepped and Cooked segment real quick, y'all. This is where we take a wrestler who is currently on the verge of a downfall, and then we take a wrestler who is already at that bottom. Pause. My pick for Prepped this week.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Man, on that bottom.
Yeah, the pause.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, unnecessary on the pause on that one, but yes, we are going to go with my prep this week, and I'm probably gonna catch some flack for it. My prep, yo, is Daniel Garcia. Until further note. Yeah, nigga, turn it up. He's prepped. He's prepped, yo. What a cricket defining moment, man. I can't believe it. Like, I hate to sound like the shill, but wow. That felt so flat, man. It just feels like what's supposed to happen next. Like, what I personally would like to have happen next, if I had to do a fantasy book, was have him work with the BCC. But if that's not gonna happen, considering he just took out the biggest dog in AEW that doesn't have a title, MJF, you would figure like it's gonna be a big deal. But I don't know. The moment just came and went, man. He's already not a strong promo, and it just felt like, all right, well, Daniel Garcia, who doesn't really have much of a personality, doesn't have a nickname, he's staying with AEW, but unless you're on the internet, you wouldn't really know. Like, a homie of mine was like, hit me on some like, yo, was he going to WWE? Like, I don't know. I don't follow the internet. And I'm just like, yeah, that was the talk. So, I don't know, man. It just felt really flat. Like, his character feels flat. It just feels like a warm soda with Daniel Garcia. Like, and I hate to sound so like critical of it, but it's just like I just watch him and nothing is moving. Nothing is exciting. I feel like the crowd didn't really react. I feel like they almost could have done it in Pittsburgh last week as opposed to the middle of Spokane, Washington. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I know I could be just shouting it out too fast. I know it's a crazy. I'll let you go, but I just think I don't expect anything higher for Daniel Garcia. Like, to be like wowing. If it's not working with the BCC and being involved in the main event scene, I'll rescind that statement. But if it's just like him trying to scrap with Jack Perry for the TNT title, it's like, you know what? You were destined to do this. You wanted to do this. I couldn't see him in NXT anyways. They were going to probably change his name to like Ricardo Gonzalez or something. He couldn't just be Daniel Garcia in NXT. I just feel like it just wouldn't fly. It just wouldn't be as exciting as the WWE random ass name goes. You know how that shit goes. Like, they let niggas keep their names, but there's certain names that I just think, you know what I mean? So the decision to stay with AEW is cool, but I just think it's just no excitement for what's to come next with Daniel Garcia. That's all. So I say prep this week. I could change my mind though. Agree, disagree. I know you're gonna disagree.
No, I disagree. Like,
I know.
I don't.
It'd be like
That's
this.
that's insane. Number one, as far as the crowd reaction or lack thereof, that's on AEW because this was a very internet story, and I don't think they ever mentioned that his contract was up on TV or at all. So that's on them. Because like your man's, I was like, yeah, I'm not paying attention to wrestling on the internet. Yeah, because they didn't mention anything about his contract being up whatsoever. They never turned it into a storyline. It wasn't even mentioned when Daniel Garcia was wrestling MJF at the pay per view. So that's on them. That's on whoever's decision to not mention it. How can you expect the audience to react? I'm staying, and I didn't know you were leaving. What do you mean you're staying? Where'd you go? You know?
You lost to MJF and then took him out, and then you just disappeared for a couple weeks. So we just figured you was just, holding off the fact that you lost.
Yeah. So I think that was a misstep. So on that point, I'll agree. I think the rest of what you're saying, I disagree. Some of it is subjective in the sense that you don't think he's a good promo. I do think he's a good promo. He does have a nickname. It's Red Death. They don't use it much, if at all. So that's on them. But the next move for him as far as feud goes, like, yes, he did take MJF out, but he still lost that match. But he says that he's going for championship. So I can see, MJF pop back up when Daniel Garcia is getting ready to, call somebody out for a championship match, and they reignite that before they, immediately push him into a title feud. I don't think the TNT championship would be a bad move for him because he hasn't had a singles AEW championship. He's as far as I remember, I think he's been the Ring of Honor pure, and other than that, he hasn't had a singles championship on either brand. So I don't think that the TNT championship would be a step down. I think I could see him going back in the Continental Classic, and it would be dope even if he goes 500, loses, you know, half and half because he lost everything except for the last. So I think there's a few different things that they could do, with Daniel Garcia. But like, I think he's a dope promo. I think that now he's obviously re-signed. It's probably for more money than what he was signed with before, so they invested in him, and he's going to be put into some dope situations, and I think he'll perform well. The match is already hit. I think it's other things like what are the actual directions that we're going to take your career in, and if he's making it a point on his promo to say I'm going for a title, I think TNT is the title that he's going to go for, because I think the Continental Classic is going to be coming up pretty soon, and he's not in the world title division. And then MJF is always looming. Like, MJF is going to come back once he's healed up, and he's going right for Daniel Garcia. So they reignite that. They probably got another 2 matches left. They have 2 more pay-per-views right after this one, November and December. I could see them going back to back. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe I'm a bigger fan of Daniel Garcia than you. Like, there's certain points that I do agree on the way that they rolled out the "I'm staying" announcement. I thought, like, I never knew you were leaving. That was the overall response for the vast majority of that audience. But I think I actually like his promos. I think he speaks really. It's unique. He speaks in a way that's not big and bombastic, but it's also very clear and direct. And I think he does show personality. He's just not doing fucking cartwheels coming down to the ring. So I don't know. What do you?
I just think if he's gonna be here, he has to do something of importance right now, yo. That's all. Like, I'm here for him being here. I just feel like he has to be.
Yeah, I think he's lined up for that now. Even if it's not an immediate championship feud, I think he's lined up because they're gonna put him in they at least gonna put him in feuds with other people that matter or have name value. You know what I'm saying? Because they signed him to a bigger contract. Now you got to work for this shit. You know what I mean? So they're going to put him in situations that actually matter because they're going to put him with people that matter.
Did he face Will Ospreay already?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I wouldn't be surprised. So. It's like, yeah, nigga, you got to go work for that.
Yeah, so he'll be in there, but I think like MJF is I don't know how long MJF is supposed to be off TV, but I don't think it's really going to be all that long. I think he's filming some shit. You know what I mean? So that feels like a 2-month break.
And with Adam Sandler, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so that's not a 6-month thing. I think MJF is right around the corner. I could see him popping back up holiday season. World's End isn't in Long Island this year, but I think he's back before World's End.
They fucking need him. They need MJF MJF really do feel like they're Rock, and I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? When he go dips off to Hollywood for a bit and he comes back, it's like, yay, MJF's back, yay. Yes, MJF is always needed, man. More MJF. But my cooked wrestler of the week is probably going to get another SMH from AO, but it's okay. It is Drew McIntyre, the man who has finally faced another L to CM Punk with no real direction where he will be going other than probably another feud with CM Punk. That could ignite in them maybe having another match, perhaps an I Quit match at Saturday Night Main Event, or they could do faction warfare at Survivor Series, and who knows. But Drew McIntyre is going to be tethered with CM Punk for quite some time. I just don't know where Drew McIntyre goes after this loss. I really would have liked for him to actually win. I think it would have been a great statement for Drew McIntyre to win, but it's not how the cards went. So I just don't know where he goes from here. Brutal match, great match. I just think from a Cook perspective, I just couldn't really pick anyone else that mattered that just could fit this role right now than Drew McIntyre off that PLE. Like, I couldn't say Rhea. Bailey is... I mean, I could have said Bailey. Like, Bailey, like, shit. Bailey could probably just be cooked. Might even have to throw Finn in there. I think Bailey, Finn, and Drew McIntyre for the WWE side is just cooked right now on a three-person skillet. Just like, all three of them are just quiet. Like, Drew not as much, but Bailey and Finn, like, they're done. So that's my cook for the week. Is just absolutely gonna be the Drew McIntyre, and then with an add-on Sazone from Bailey and Finn Balor. Agree or disagree?
No, I disagree. Cause like, is the argument that Drew doesn't have, in your mind, a clear next step or a clear next feud or a clear next direction, and that's why he's cooked?
Yes, I want to go with that.
So is CM Punk cooked?
No, because he won the feud for now.
But what is he doing? What's his next step?
He's taking a vacation. He's going to go enjoy time with AJ and Larry and
Right, so
recalibrate. And when he comes back,
but when he comes back, what does he do? Who's he in the feud with?
Drew McIntyre.
So I don't know. I think, for one, it depends on how long he's gone.
Fucking McIntyre.
It depends on how long Punk is gone, because they've teased this Seth Rollins thing. I think that's Mania. So I think that gets held off on for a little bit. So he has no clear direction when he comes back. I don't think he's cooked. I think like both of them really don't. They can cool both of them off right now because they just had this Hell in a Cell match and they're gonna take time off. I don't think he's cooked. He lost a few.
I ain't gonna say he's deep fried. You know what I'm saying? But I just think for the purpose of Drew McIntyre and like what I think, I really wanted him to win. You know, I think that's just what it was. I really believed that he was gonna win. Like, even though Punk was the inevitable winner, I was just like, yo, Drew needs this win more. Like, he needs it for overall, like, yes, I finally have the victory over you. You know what I mean? But it's not how the cards went.
I guess like to me, it's like either way, it depends on what the next steps are, right? Neither Punk nor Drew are winning a championship anytime soon.
I think Punk will win one before Drew.
Is he beating Gunther?
He won't win the Royal Rumble, but he could have a world title match that has nothing to do with Gunther, and it has something to do with Seth Rollins.
We'll see. We'll see. Because, like, to me, that the Seth Rollins feud with CM Punk feels like the Drew McIntyre feud with CM Punk in the sense that it works with or without a championship. I think the championship ups the stakes because then there's a professional issue, but there's a personal issue with both of those guys, so it still works. So with or without it, yeah, I think he's feuding with Seth, but point
Now
being,
where does
neither
Drew
one,
go?
well, I don't know where either one of these guys go. I'm just saying, like, we're in October. WrestleMania is in April. So CM Punk is not going to be off TV until it's time for WrestleMania season.
Well,
So
we
there
have to be
is no
slick
clear
about
next
it.
direction with him.
According to the sources, to the Cox sources, there's actually the plan of CM Punk and Seth Rollins for WrestleMania. That's the current plan. So that alone tells me, all right, that'll get started soon. But again, where does Drew go from here? Like he'll fight Punk again, but if he win or loses, it's just like he's got to win. Like he just has to win. There is no lose. He has to win. But then it means they're going to be back and forth trading victories. Like, or is this the end
I don't know.
for Drew and Punk?
Like I don't know. Like I think that there's a
Fucking
number
got
of
me.
there could be some interesting matchups that pop up, but nah, I don't think he's cooked. I just don't know that. I don't know what the direction is, but that to me that doesn't mean that he's cooked. You know
Fair.
what to me cooked is like you're on TV, for example.
I didn't want to go pure Fusion Collective and the usual jobbers that I usually
But that's
do.
what I was saying. Like you're on TV, and I can see with my own two eyes that they don't give a shit if you are or not on TV. Cooked means you're one of the wrestlers that comes out to break up other wrestlers from fighting.
I wanted to spice it up this week. That's why I said like I'm going with some of the upper echelon names that are cooked
Yeah,
this week in my
yeah.
eyes.
You went with a guy that just re-signed, and the other guy that just had a potential match of the year.
Well,
That's
yo,
cooked.
I ain't saying a nigga cooked in his whole career. I just meant for the week, nigga. Like that's
And I
all it is.
disagree,
It's the
but
week.
that
It's the
happened this
week.
week.
It's
No,
just the
but that
week.
that happened this week is what I'm saying. It's not like neither one of them were off TV after being on TV the week prior. They just did that shit this week.
It's like yo,
They just had to
that
have
was
say,
it,
"Oh
man.
nah, he's done.
He lost, man. Point blank, the nigga lost. So you know what I
Can't
mean?
lose matches now."
That nigga lost, man. Nigga thought all that shit is still lost. So Drew McIntyre is fucking cooked this week. See him when he returns whenever, man. Gotta get this.
You know what's real pain right now, man? The Liberty were up like 21 with 5 seconds in the game right now. Like
Yo,
a
the
true
late-
New York team.
the feast of Collier is nothing to be fucked with, man. Just remember that.
Like a true New York team. Shouts to the Mets.
Never forget, my nigga.
Bring this this
Wrestle
AEW,
Dream card up.
Yeah, Wrestle Dream card, man. Bring that.
We
to the
good to
table.
go.
Y'all know what it is. It's the Ringside Club. This is episode 106 and Park. Yesterday's price is definitely not today's price.
Appreciate y'all watching us right now on the Twitter sphere and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now we got 10 matches, bro. You ready? You ready
How
for
many,
all these matches?
How many pre-show?
7.
Pre-show?
And then we got another 10. No, I'm just kidding. 0 Hour has got 1, 2,
So
3. The Acclaimed versus MCM. MXM. Eminem. Mason Mansoor versus The Acclaimed. Last minute ad. Yeah, that one is, that one could be for the tag titles if the tag titles meant anything in AEW. I think that could be the really cool tag team feud because between them, the Outrunners, there's life in that division. I hope somebody out there feels me. Like there's life in the AEW tag team division, y'all. It's just on the pre-show on 0 Hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that Mason Mansoor get the victory. And we're going to see Anthony Bowens have a singles run in the C2. I'm going to call it now.
that'd be kind of dope. I'd like to see just an Anthony Bowen single match, just to see whether everybody's theory that he's going to thrive as a singles wrestler is viable or not. Like
Well-
everything that people are judging this off of is the fact that the hot tag is so amazing, and yeah, he is dope and all of that. I just want to see like one match. One good featured match on Rampage, Collision, Dynamite, one of these shows. But that quarter, that Continental Classic rather, that would be kind of fire.
That's our topic next week. We'll be out of this Wrestle Dream hair.
Damn.
Shane McMahon should have debuted at that point. You know what I'm saying? We'll have some shit to talk about AEW related. I think next week we can do a Continental Classic prediction because I'm actually really excited for the Continental Classic. If there's anything that they got me sold on for the wintertime for Q4 is the Continental Classic. So Okada finally gets to show up and show out, actually wrestle and defend the title. And we'll see a vast new amount of wrestlers pop up in that tournament that should shine like Anthony Bowen. I think it'll just be a random wild card, like how Mark Briscoe was last year. Like it'll just be like, oh shit, Anthony Bowen's in here. Like, what's Max Caster gonna do? Like, are they gonna turn him heel? Like, you know what I mean? Just get on that type of time. But
Yeah, no,
That's the pre-show.
that's kind of dope.
We still got
Um,
0 hour for Atlantis Jr. defending the Ring of Honor television title against Brian Cage. Do you care who wins or loses? Because I think Atlantis will win.
I think Atlantis retains.
Yeah. And even if he doesn't, my life will still go on, y'all. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone's paying attention to Ring of Honor. And as of the recent Tony Khan press conference, he's got more things to worry about, like getting things finalized overseas with commercial deals and licensing and such. So Ring of Honor is a great product, and they'll get greatly situated when the time's right, according to Tony Khan yesterday. So, you know what I mean? That's where we at with Ring of Honor, my nigga. And then back to Ring of Honor. Chris Jericho is challenging Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor world title. In
I'm
what
actually
should
looking
be
forward
a
to that.
sleeper match of the night because it's Mark
Yeah.
Briscoe.
I'm looking forward to that match. Like I think Chris is probably gonna have one of his recent, like one of his better matches as of late, with Mark Briscoe. So I think like Mark is Mark. Like Mark is always dope. He's always crisp. But I
Needs to be
think
a
like
bigger
Mark is
babyface.
also gonna bring out a little bit more aggression out of Chris Jericho and a little bit more of a serious tone, at least within the match, that we don't always get in this stage of Chris Jericho's career. I think it's going to be a good match, and I would not be surprised if Chris wins that title, to be honest.
Me
You know what I'm
neither.
saying? I would
Me
not be
neither.
surprised.
Crazy enough, it just doesn't scream like, oh, this is really necessary. But you know,
I mean, we're talking about it. I think this is the most conversation that we've had over the Ring of Honor Championship. So
fair.
it
I'm
is
not.
necessary.
I'm
I
not
think that's the
knocking
point.
I'm not knocking the fact that the title's getting defended. It's just more so Jericho going after it. It's just like this is just him fighting with another faction again.
But
And
I think that's what's necessary about it is, Jericho feuding over this world champion or going after this world championship. I 100% think is a good move because we're talking about it. Like, and yo, Mark Briscoe's defending the championship. By the way, this isn't Mark Briscoe in a 6-man ladder match for the TNT championship.
I know it's finally
You know what I
nice
mean?
to see.
So
Which is
yeah,
crazy that we're going Jericho when he's finally defending the title.
but that's fine to me because like what also would happen a lot of times is if it wasn't Jericho and it was somebody else who's maybe more prominent on Ring of Honor, then nobody would be talking about it
Yeah,
the
if it was
same way.
Brian Cage, we totally wouldn't be speaking about this match in high regard or anything. Actually,
Or even if it was Brian Cage and we were talking about it because it's on the card, nobody necessarily believed that Brian Cage would beat Mark Briscoe, unless they plan on going in a completely different direction with the title. So there's that little bit of doubt. Like I'm not, like I said, I'm really 50-50 on this as far as who I think does win this match. Like I'm not sold either way that it's Briscoe or Jericho. So going to overtime, 84-84.
that's what happened.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, if I got to make a call, I'm gonna say Jericho.
2 out of 3 falls match. Hologram versus the Beast Mortos. Hologram is on a 14-0 streak. He is the newest project of Tony Khan and the AEW team. Everyone loves Hologram, man.
Yo, sidebar, that Commander hologram match, man, that power bomb, to go for the top rope the other night was
Could have went
crazy.
deadly.
That could have. I wasn't. I thought that Commander was gonna get hit with a Hurricane Rana. I thought that's what they were trying to set up, and maybe they were. And even if they were, the speed in which he had to improvise, talking about Commander, to hit Hologram with that power bomb that was fire. That was fire.
That match
Still
was fun.
undefeated. Yeah, it was a fun match.
Yeah, they had a fun match. You know what I mean? It served its purpose. I'm going to go Hologram because Beast Mortos doesn't win, even with the new faction of LFI managed by Jake the Snake, because anyone asked for this. Any correlation. Hologram wins and goes to 15-0. Or technically 17-0. So, I think that works. You know what I mean? Hologram gets the W here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hologram.
Jay White, the new babyface from the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, returns to fight Hangman Adam Page. A blood feud that's been building. This is really nice to keep AEW's upper main event scene going that's outside the world title. Let you know that if there was a ranking system, Jay White and Hangman Adam Page would be right there, battling. I think Hangman wins. He needs to win more. Jay White can afford the loss because, it's Jay White. He can always bounce back. We're not going to cry over spilled milk if Jay White loses a match. He's still going to be fine. He's still popular. You've got Card Blade Jay White somewhere behind you. You know what I mean? So I think Hangman takes the victory here. I think Hanger needs it. You know what I mean? It's all right. Jay White will be fine. But it is good that he's back, though. We need it. Just less Triple H marbly fucking foam mouth promos and
Yo, that
I
was
don't know,
crazy.
just that good old wrestling that you do.
I like. I'm kind of the other way on this, to where because Jay White just came back, I think it'd be kind of whack for him to lose. You know what I'm saying? I think it would be pretty whack for that man to have just returned and like, all right, L. But I'm
Yo,
trying to
hear it
figure.
now. Open Twitter now. 5 minutes after that match is over. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how they get there. They could just do like he beats Hangman clean, but I don't see a clean victory. I don't see a clean victory either way. And I'm leaning towards maybe Hangman does pick up the win because he would cheat to win
Yeah.
without having
It'll
somebody
be
else
a
get
funny
involved.
finish. I think a smudge
Yeah,
finish.
yeah, yeah. I can see that. But then that gives legs to this thing, going a little bit longer. This is
That's
not just
fine.
a
I
one
didn't
and
think
done.
this was a one and done feud either.
Yeah, this ain't a one and done. So I can see like, you know, some brass knucks, ref distraction, ref bump, something like that. I'm not sure if somebody else gets involved because ain't nobody coming out to Hangman's defense. Like nobody's on Hangman's side at all in that company. So, but yeah, I might go with Hangman if it's a tough. But again, this is why this is a good one because I'm not 100% sold either way either. I'm kind of 50-50 on this too. But I
Agreed.
would go with I would go with Hangman. I'll go with Hangman. He definitely cheats to win. Grabs the tights, something.
Darby Allen, Brody King, Washington
Darby.
guys, old friends going at it. This should be a nice Darby Allen style match featuring Brody King, beatdown clan action. I think Brody King could get the victory here, crazy enough,
It'd be
over
nice.
Darby.
It'd be nice from the sense of like he's another one of those guys that I feel I just love Brody King style. He
Yes,
showed
and
out
I
in
think
the
he
Continental.
connects with the
Yeah, hundred
people.
percent, 100%. He's fucking. Anytime he stomps around and starts barking, however many thousand people in the building, they start barking too. When Darby did it the other day to mock him, the entire crowd started barking. They know what it is. Um, but with that being said, because I think that Brian loses and Darby is next up to feud with Mox because that feud isn't necessarily over just because he lost that match. I don't think you have Darby lose. I mean, you could have him lose and still find his way into a world championship opportunity.
We even said it earlier. Like, man's lost his title shot. It's just a bunch of stupid decisions. You're challenging a guy who's way bigger than you that knows how to actually maneuver around with you. And then what if he actually does beat you? Like, now we're just going to put Darby in a, yo, can I even get it done type of blunder. That'll keep time
And
going.
he said that during his promo. He already said that during his promo. I mean, is that foreshadowing or is that just a good line for this feud right now? We'll see. But that all being said, I'm going Darby with the W.
Tight. Next up, Katsuyori Shibata challenges TNT champion Jack Perry for the TNT championship. Immediate L for Shibata. Jack Perry retains. This doesn't feel like anything that Jack Perry. This doesn't feel like anything that Shibata really needed to be in the fold for, other than like he's here. You know what I mean? Like Shibata's cool when he's using his gimmick to his advantage, but otherwise, like he's bringing no reaction. Like this could have been a Ricky Starks moment. This could have been anyone else other than Shibata here, and Jack Perry don't feel like he's losing that TNT title to anyone here that matters. Because the person I think he will lose the TNT title will be to the man who never technically lost it, the rated R superstar, Adam Copeland. That's who he's going to lose the TNT title to on
Yeah,
the
Jack
return.
Jack Perry is retaining. I'm
I built an afterthought, by the
Right
way.
now, well, I mean, whatever. Right now, I think that I wonder what's next for Hook, because part of me thinks it was the Undisputed Kingdom that jumped Taz and injured him, because Hook is going around trying to figure out how to beat up his pops. But then there's like a smaller percentage, but a percentage nonetheless. At least maybe I think it would be kind of cool because we always see this guy driving around in that scapegoat van or that bus or whatever. What if he just ran down Taz in the back, or at least ran up on him? Speaking of Jack Perry, just to get Hook involved in the little TNT feud for the time being.
That sounds good. It does sound pretty
I
believable.
don't think that's the case, for the record, but there's a
But
part of me that's like, oh, that shit would be kind of dope.
I kind of am leaning on the side of that Hook did it. I'm gonna go with that fan base. I'm gonna go with that audience. I think Hook
Oh,
did it.
I didn't hear that one. Hook beat up his pops.
Yeah, Hook did it. Hook's this is Hook's heel turn right here. I'm gonna go with that for some fun creative factor. I think Hook did it.
It's not a chance in hell. I don't think that's the case.
I think this is how you introduce heel Hook.
That would be, yeah. Heel Hook would be fire too. Just this, it's a move. It'd
I
be
think
fire if Hook as a heel starts using a heel hook as a
because you
finish.
can't use a Taz mission. It's a babyface move at this point. You know what I'm saying? So like now it's
Like
like nah, fuck you guys. I'm using a heel Hook.
heel hook as Hook's heel maneuver would be
That's
so
this
fire.
episode title is heel Hook. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Pause on
Be
that one.
so fire. Nah, that ain't pause word. That would be so fire though. That's like
Yeah,
super wrestling nerd shit.
yeah. I think it would be
But
heel
yeah,
Hook.
nah, I don't think he's. I definitely don't think he jumped his pops. Like, who the fuck? Who started that one? See that? That's very Vince Russo, bro.
Oh shit. All right.
He ain't do that. But nah, Jack Perry beat Shibata for sure.
All right. We got the AEW tag team titles. The Hardley Boys defend against Private Party.
I would love to see Private Party win this match.
Me too. For the shock and surprise, and because they've been touting this feud as 5 years in the making.
Yeah, 5 years in the making. They've been going hard with New Year, new champs, which is weird to say in October. So maybe it doesn't happen now, but whatever. But then like I think there's something pretty cool about, for whatever reason, Private Party being the one team that does have the number of the Young Bucks.
Yes.
That would be kind of just cool for the lore of AEW, I guess. Second episode of Dynamite, they beat them. Now 5 years later, they still have their number and beat them for the titles. That's all nice. That would be cool. There's a lot of things
What a
that would be
fairy
cool,
tale this is riding on.
but realistically, I don't think the Bucks lose to Private Party. I think they're gonna have a banger match, and
False finish after false finish.
which is fine.
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
that I think that would be great for Private Party if we didn't already know what Private Party could do, because that's a coming out party.
Yes.
But we know what Private Party can do, so just having a dope match for the sake of a dope match is like, all right, cool. But then back to the line we go. I don't want to see that. So, but money on the line, I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
All right. I'm going with the Bucks as well. I want to go Private Party, but I just don't see the surprise happening. I see a bunch of cockamamie fucking moves happening. Kick out, kick out, kick out, and then a bullshit ending, and then BT trigger on Mark Quinn to take the pinfall.
Let me ask you a question. Drew McIntyre hit Punk with a few of
I
those
knew this was
Claymore
coming.
kicks. Punk hit Drew McIntyre with more than one go to sleep. They were kickouts. Throw the whole match out, right?
Nah, that was great storytelling. It was excellent. It fit
How?
right in because this is one time that they're doing this. This isn't every match that they're doing this.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. That's all it is. It's just, yo, this isn't the routine every match. Like, they're not hitting 6 Claymores and 7 GTSs. This isn't happening in a regular Drew McIntyre match. It doesn't even
I
happen on
dis
Raw.
I disagree, because if a finishing move is supposed to end the match, I don't care what the feud is. I think it would be even more of a reason to avoid that move at all costs.
There's no respect for finishing moves in this era anymore.
So then it's just a signature move and not a finishing move, and I'm fine with that.
There's no respect for them
But
anymore,
I'm
bro.
telling you, like, if a finisher move is supposed to be this, oh my god, I can't get hit with this, otherwise I got to go to the hospital type shit, then a Hell in a Cell match would give me all the more reason to not get hit with that move. Because what the fuck does he do to me in this cage after hitting me with that move?
What is the excitement of the One Wing Angel as to why it's so protected?
Because it's a deadly move. It's a knockout blow. It's like
And
getting
you
hit by
can,
Tyson. And
and
you can, no, no, no. You can do that. My argument has always been I'm down with more than one way of telling stories and having matches. So there could be times where this is a Street Fighter type shit where I'm hitting you with the sonic boom on move one. And the story is I hit you with everything, 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 everything and still couldn't pin you. That works. It also works for I can do everything in my power to avoid getting hit with the one winged angel because nobody kicks out from that. That's another way. You know what that's called? Fucking options. That's
yeah,
called let's not do the same thing and have one rule for everything that we watch.
it's amazing that nobody kicks out of the One Wing Angel, no matter how many times it's done. It can be done once, and it only
But
gets
it's
kicked out
one.
of
I don't.
none.
I just don't understand why there has to be one way of telling the story.
I
Finish a
respect
move
it.
has to end the move. Has to end the match. But then in this type of match, it's cool because it's blood feud.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we go with that.
Word up.
Swerve Strickland returns. He's coming back. He's coming home to Washington. I think we get the debut of Bobby Lashley finally. That's going to be fun. I'm excited for that part of the show alone.
Yep. Absolutely.
That is what I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. Hand MVP the microphone. Bring Prince Nana out there with Swerve. Man, Shelton Benjamin in the tuck. Bobby Lashley is looming. I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
The Hurt Syndicate taking over AEW. It's a nice juxtaposition as opposed to what's going on with the Moxley Skinner crew. No idea what that's about to look like. We'll get to that shortly because we still have the AEW Women's Championship. Mariah May defends against Willow Nightingale, and it's really unfortunate, my man, because I really want Willow to win. I feel like this should have happened at Revolution, damn near. But I don't see it happening. Unfortunately, Mariah's reign is just lackluster and quiet to me. It's crickets, it's tumbleweed, it's hay. And the
Too good
fact
to
that it's
feud.
waiting for Tony Storm to come back to be the highlight of this feud, or her reign, I should say, is just not cutting it. Willow should be in this position, if you ask me, because Willow is the uber baby face and the true potential face of this women's division. She should be ahead of Mariah with the title right now. Like, I would love for Willow to win right now, to be honest with you. If she was the winner of this match, that would be one of the best surprises. If there's anything that happens on this pay-per-view, Ayo, I want it to be a surprise. Like, I want something to
Hmm.
pop us other than the Bryan Danielson main event. I
Yeah,
don't want this whole
whether
pay-per-view
it
to
be a
coast.
Willow, yeah, a Willow win would do it. A private party win would do it. You know,
Yes.
we're expecting Bobby Lashley to pop up, but the Bobby Lashley debut would do it. Like things that are really like, oh man, a month ago I didn't see any of these things happen. That would
Yes.
be, would be dope. Um, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, the thing with Mariah May, and it's like it's literally anytime somebody has a title and it's just them holding the title, it's not interesting because we're not building somebody up to be a believable person who can really beat that person. It's
So we got
all about
Jamie
the
Hayter
feud.
right here. Jamie Hayter's back, and it's like
Yeah,
to the wayside feuding with Soraya and Harley Cameron. Like I'm
yeah.
like, yo, dogs.
Jamie Hayter got that. I can't wait till Jamie Hayter comes back, and then it's like, oh, all right. And there was Soraya. You know, and again, it doesn't. What I think is a cool thing that's going on right now is like who is it? Deanna Perrazzo and Tyra Valkyrie, right?
Are they pairing together?
They're a team. They're a team. It's like this thing of ours is what they're calling each other. It feels like they're going to be growing by the numbers. But the point is, they're giving them something to do right now, where there could be conversation around it. Who are their targets? Who else is down with them? Why are they together? Who's actually the leader? Like, there's something happening here. Jamie Hayter's coming back and just having matches and trading shit with Saraya, and like
Saraya.
nobody asked for that shit.
And she's
You know,
officially beating her in a Saraya rules match, so she's definitely got to pack it up. Like this feud's got to be over now. Now
it's like,
Jamie
yo,
Hayter.
the Saraya rules match I thought was cool, but it's like I don't know.
Saraya's
But
not
but
doing anything of importance.
back to Mariah May. It's basically that. Like what they have not done is given her a feud to sink her teeth in, and there is no champion in wrestling ever that is going to have a successful reign if the feuds don't matter.
Right.
So, I'd like to see Willow win.
Would love to see Willow win.
I can't even say that. Is it really just we're just waiting for Tony Storm to get back?
Yes, that's exactly what's
You know
happening
what
with
I'm
Mariah
saying?
May's
Like,
title reign right now. It's just coasting until Tony Storm returns so they can resume the feud, and then Tony Storm could either take another L or get the title back, which at that point it's like, yo, you signed mad new women and mad other women are popping in this division. There's Britt Baker, there's Willow Nightingale, there's Serena D. There, I mean, all right, let me not get carried away. There's Deonna Purrazzo, there's there's plenty of women that can be in this women's title picture other than just Tony Storm and Mariah May tethered together for 2 years. Like this can't happen. This is like their version of Rhea and Liv to an extent. Like this is just a bit much. Like y'all gotta stop. Nah, untether. Like
yeah, I
go the
think like
separate ways.
they spend so much time, you know, properly building that issue with Tony Storm and Mariah May, and then once the turn happened, which that turn was amazing, but
The
once the turn
downfall.
happened, it was, you know, it started just losing more and more steam, I think. And even though Mariah won the championship, it's like give her something to sink her teeth into. Like even with Willow, this isn't necessarily a feud. This is just, you know, it popped up.
Something to do.
So
People got
yeah,
sick, couldn't make it, so they had to do something on the
like I don't
fly.
feel like Willow has momentum coming into this match, and that's the thing. You know, she doesn't have momentum that's relevant to the conversation of oh world champ.
She's not the CMLL Women's Champion anymore, right?
I don't think so. No,
All right. She doesn't
I
have
don't
the
think
belt,
so.
so it's another belt she won't be having either. Triple threat for the international title. Will Ospreay defends against Ricochet and Takeshita. Takeshita.
I'm going to Keshta.
I'm going Ospreay. I think Ospreay retains here by pinning Ricochet. I think Ricochet takes the L because they're defending Takeshita to prolong that feud till Takeshita loses to Ospreay at Full Gear, and then Takeshita ends up winning the Continental Classic and beating Okada at World's End. That's how I'm booking Takeshita for the rest of the year. I fuck with that. I fuck with Takeshita. You know, he's a fan favorite amongst the many in the IWC. I fuck with his style. I think he's got great appearance. I mean, he could win the title, but yo, we just had Ospreay win the title last month. You know what I'm saying? Like he just won the belt last month. Like
That's fine.
again. You know what I mean? Like
But I don't know. To me, that's fine. Like, number one, this is a triple threat, which means there's no DQ, and we have a whole lot of shit going on with the Don Callis family, so they can get involved, and it doesn't have to be behind the referee's back, and change the outcome of this match. We have. I don't think that there's. I think what's your man's name that was just with Jake? That's with Callis now.
Roosh.
Murder Hawk. Nah, Murder Hawk Monster, right? I don't think that there's no reason that they decided to do that talent swap just before this pay per view, because I think Lance Archer, he's a guy, he's the muscle of that crew right now. He's the guy who's another big guy who doesn't have title aspirations right now. You know what I'm saying? So he can get involved. There's a lot. Excuse me. He just joined. So point being, it's a triple threat. So we have Ricochet, we have Osprey, and we have Takeshita, but there are no DQs in a triple threat match.
All
So
bullshit
I think the
goes.
yeah, just no, that's the rule. That's the rule. So I think the Don Callis family could get involved. I also think that there could be different moments during the match where you see the quote unquote friendship of Ricochet and Osprey be tested in the spirit of competition. I think we could get a very definitive, um, you know, look at where Fletcher finally stands, like where his allegiance is. Are you riding with Osprey or are you definitely riding with Gallus? What I thought was weird from this past Wednesday was like Osprey saying we're officially through as if he didn't already leave the Don Callis family like months prior. He just came back to do him a favor and then just kept doing him favors.
It's
You
just
know how
favor
that?
for a friend every trip.
Yeah. It's mad favors. It's mad favors. But nah, I'm gonna go with Takeshita, bro. I think they get involved.
All right. Fair assessment on Takeshita. I can rock with you on that. I'm going to go with the main event now. John Moxley challenging Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going to go with a Bryan Danielson retention. These picks have just been bullshit that I've been dropping, but I'm going with all my gut feeling on it. Bryan Danielson retains. I think it's going to be a cat and mouse game of when he loses the title. And I just don't think it's going to happen in his home state. I think it's going to be the surprise of the night. It's like he doesn't lose the title.
Could be. Could be.
We don't need Moxley having the world title again. This ain't 2022.
But I think it's a different presentation of Mox. It's not the same Moxley.
So
Like
he's the villain that AEW needs right now, is what you're telling me?
if he's in there with a face, yeah. And I think Darby Allen is a clear baby face. Like Moxley was always like a bad dude. He was just never a bad guy, and that's the difference. And the other thing is like everybody for so long has been calling for a clear definition on should I cheer or should I boo the Blackpool Combat Club, and now you have a very clear direction. Boo them. They're heels. It's very clear. So I think that that's part of the difference. Also, is you have a clear heel Mox as a world champ with a clear heel faction behind him. That's interesting to me.
Very fair.
Why not?
Okay. You think Shane McMahon debuts?
Give a fuck. Give a
We're
fuck.
going to save that for World's End. Yeah.
Like I guess, man. Like I guess in the storyline of he's a money guy, so to speak, and he's with the Bucks and all of them. It could be cool. I'm just keep Shane in the back, man. I just keep him
He's
off
the
the
higher
mic.
power that John Moxley is doing it for because he's never explained this, and that's what's pissed me off about this feud. So let's
But
go
I
with the.
I like
Let's
I
say
like the
Shane McMahon
mystery. Yeah,
is the one
sure,
pulling the strings.
sure. Why not?
This is about that will have me excited for AEW is the debut of Shane McMahon in this
I
company.
can't. I can't wait, right, for it to be Shane McMahon, and then Shane cuts a promo on Wednesday, and then Thursday we go there on. Shane McMahon should never be on. It's cooked.
Can't wait! It's gonna be so good. The discourse is gonna be the best fucking part.
I can't wait. You've been like rooting for this guy to return, and he's gonna stink it up on the microphone. You're like, yo, get this guy off the microphone, and I'm gonna put my microphone down and just say, "Fucking, I told you so, bro." Nah, like I don't mean to kill Shane, man. I just let me see something. If it is Shane, let me see something. That's all.
Shane O'Mac is all elite. He's the higher
Sure.
power that's bought into the AEW.
Yeah, shake some shit up, I guess, but
I'm with the shaking of shit up. They need this excitement. So
I can't believe the Liberty just lost.
yes, they definitely blew that lead.
Cannot believe they lost. But yeah, those all the matches.
That's all the matches. That's
Should be a
AEW
dope
Wrestle
card.
Dream.
Should be a dope card. Should be a
It
dope
should be
card.
a fun. AEW pay per views always have some pretty shitty build lately, but they do turn out to be rather solid overall in execution and surprises.
Yeah, it'd be dope. Like there are enough, matches and segments and possibilities on this card that it's gonna be quality. Like they're always worth the bread to me. I have since AEW's first pay per view, I've bought every AEW pay per view, like all of them.
Support.
And I have they just killed Bleacher Report, so you can
Yes,
move
they
all your
did
shit.
actually.
Yeah, you can move all your shit over to Triller. So there were a few. Once they made it available to start buying on Triller the first time, I started buying on Triller because Bleacher Report is trash. And we get that Max move is happening in 2025. So
Yeah, it's
see
a
what
little
that looks
wild.
like. Yeah. But
Yeah, that's it, man.
Wrestle
We
Dream
will
it is.
reconvene when the pay per view's over. It's been a good episode, folks.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
y'all.
We'll see what the Riverside is hitting for once I watch this back and if it's crispy or not and all that. But StreamYard, man, y'all bugging, man.
Get to it.
Y'all are bugging. But
Get
this is
to it, man.
episode 106. Peace to Blame Boogie. Make sure y'all check out all information about that Hills Have Eyes. And I say that because Boog's fingerprints are all over that shit and I want to support
Yes,
the home. You know
sir.
what I mean? But with that being said, I'm gonna go by the name of AO.
Chad
It's
Law,
Chad Law.
we
We
gone.
out. We outta
107
here.
next week.
Peace.